I did it again. Should be of no surprise. I bought something stupid, but very interesting. Home built, as far as I can tell. I can't imagine this was a kit or anything. Even if it was a kit, it's still home built. By all definitions, this is a cart. I don't think it's a buggy, because buggies, and I'll have to look up the definitions. Buggies, in my opinion, like dune buggies and that, usually have like a VW drive setup back here. And this one does not. This one is chain drive. It's got a battery over there. It's got, I'm going to try to look up this brake caliper and brake disc, which seems very heavy duty. Pretty worn, but for my purposes, it's going to be fine. It is essentially, but not, I don't know if it's precisely a 5 on 4.5 bolt pattern, but it uses lug bolts instead of lug nuts. That doesn't make me happy. This tachometer looks more Honda Yamaha to me. It might say on there somewhere. Let's see if I can get it close enough. We'll have to check the video. It's pretty foggy. Oh, this might, here we go. So here's a gear indicator. So that one, again, looks to me like it's Honda. So it could have been a Honda V-twin or something narrow. This also screams motorcycle. If you can't see it because all the paint, this is like a 7/8 handlebar. Here is where your rear view mirror would go. And they just bent the handle for the brake pedal, which I thought is pretty darn cool. I think that's awesome. The other thing they did was over here, this is the gear shift lever. It is currently froze up. And this is the clutch. And all of this went down there diagonal, went back there, and the clutch and brake were linked somehow. The steering is surprisingly buttery. Okay, so that all moves really, really nice. The only downside I see is the dashboard, I don't know if you can see that, is also moving. It's like a, I don't know how to explain it. Having all of this motorcycle stuff on it doesn't scream that it's a dune buggy to me. It screams that it's a cart. It's a go-kart of sorts. The steering stuff is rotted, broken, whatever. I've already ordered new pieces. They're not going to be the same size. I'm going to be doing some welding and fabricating for all that, but it's going to have new bolt-ins for these steering tabs. That steering tab looks healthy. This steering tab is not healthy, so I will be redoing that one for sure. This front end, so from here to here, just a straight bar, and I've seen guys do this on when they build trikes from old four-wheelers or whatever, or scooters. You have to do this to the suspension because otherwise it wants to dip in the wrong direction. It'll lean to the outside when you turn. So they just do a hard mount here. But this has control A-arm. So it has a single A-arm. It's very heavily built for this size frame. I think I moved this over by hand. Not terrible. It's heavy, but it's not terrible. This is 12 inches from here to here. And that is the same length as the shocks in the rear. So unless they compress when I put them on, I can just put some shocks in there. And why they don't have them, don't know. Maybe they did and they blew them out, or didn't have the money, so they just put in some metal. But I thought that's pretty cool. OXIDUS Prime is now in the shop. So I soaked the brake that I took off in my ultrasonic for, I mean, days, the whole weekend, and I kept running over there to turn it back on so it would do the ultrasonic thing too. Today's goal is to replace these steering ends. All right, now this side, this plate looks pretty good. I got to remove this bolt and replace this here. Same pretty much on this side. Now if you notice, the plates, this plate is different. This one doesn't, it has like a tab and it's bent. I have a feeling that they bent the other one too and they replaced it, or bent the other one and replaced it with what's over there. So this is all bendy. This is yeah, it's pretty bad. But one of the biggest problems I have right now is I can't move the tire because this stuff is frozen in these little sleeves. I want to reuse their little sleeves, but you can't get them off because they're welded on. So what I'm going to do is I have to cut this off anyway, so I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to twist on this bar here to try to break that loose. I've already hit it with penetrant for a few days, so I'm hoping it'll break free. Once I break it free, I'm going to work it back and forth, clean it up, and hopefully be able to reuse it. One of the reasons I want to make sure to use it is because of these little universal joints. That I could use a straight bar, but that will allow me to then put in shocks. So to replace these solid bars. That would be cool. Shocks would be awesome. And the fact that they pivot pretty close to there isn't, you know, it should work. We'll see. But yeah, step one, cut that off and start to work that loose. I'm going to put you guys on the tripod and maybe I'll do some time-lapsing or something so you can see me doing some of this, because that's what you want to do, is just lean over my shoulder and judge me, which is fine. That's a good light. We're going to be able to use that. It'll be fine. Yeah, so let's get after it. As possible. They used socket swivels for the pivots for the steering in case you put in shocks, which I thought was pretty smart and ingenious. I have no idea if it's going to work. Probably not. That's probably why they don't have shocks in there, but we're going to give it a shot at some point. But yeah, got it broke free, got it all cleaned up. Those are just temporary. And then had to build that little bracket there because the other one was just like a little skimpy little tab. So that should be pretty firm. Pretty happy about it so far. Standing still, it's a little stiff. You know, it's still got some loosening up to do, but you can see it actually has, I mean, for what it is, a fair amount of steering. It might even have some Ackerman, at least on this side. I don't know if it's working on that side. Trying to, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, pretty happy about that. Now I can move on to the brakes, because steering, then brakes, then propulsion. Hear me out. It's going to be better than it looks. Watch this. And there it is. Boom. Seats. They look pretty decent, and they are comfortable. I sat in them. They're shockingly comfortable. So, free chairs, free seats. Installed, first brake caliper I should say, installed on OXIDUS Prime. I may add more later, but this is the one that was available to me. Both the caliper off of a junk bike that I had, and the disc was already here from a Honda. So I'm going to run with it, see what happens. I do have it hooked up to a foot brake from that same junk bike, and I was getting pressure. So I'm going to put this wheel back on and then jack it up from the back end, spin the back end, and apply the brake and see if it stops it. Good morning. I am excited and not excited about what's in this box. Needed it, had one a long time ago, got one recently. Brake line flaring tool kit. If you've ever done this before, it's not rocket science, but it also can be not fun. But I picked it up for OXIDUS Prime, so I can make the brake lines properly, and eventually I want to put front brakes on it, so that'll help me do that. It was just a necessary evil, I guess. This is a Amazon kit, and it's actually pretty nice. Comes with a handful of fittings, more fittings than hopefully I will need unless I really screw some stuff up. But so you've got your whatever you call it, the screw-in block for the actual terminations. You've got the flaring tool. Then you've got your these are the what do they call it? Double flare inserts or dies, and a cutting tool for cutting your tubing. Also comes with brake line. This is 3/16, I believe, OD steel brake line, so it will rust out in 10 years, probably 5 years in North Carolina. It had a bunch of fittings. I already put some of them in the toolbox, but there's the fittings. Came with a pair of gloves. I don't know where the other one is. And then I also bought some flex line, and I already test fit them because I was worried, because I haven't worked with this type of brakes in a very long time, where I had to make lines and do fittings and all that kind of stuff. So bear with me on some of this. But so these are I think 10 millimeter by whatever, or M10 by whatever ends, and so are these, but these are the banjo side. So the banjo side is for the motorcycle components that I'm using, both at the brake caliper and at the brake pedal. Might switch that out to car components later, depending on how much horsepower and if this thing gains a whole lot of weight. But right now, with driver, it's still going to be under 1,000 pounds. So, I mean, there's plenty of motorcycles out there that are 1,000 pounds, and they can stop fine with one brake. Anyway, so that's that. Again, some more fittings that are just loosely in the box. But all together, it looks like a nice kit. I already used the tubing cutter just to, make sure it could cut, because otherwise I'd have to go buy a decent one. I also had to buy a 530 by 5/8 9 tooth sprocket for the drive system, but we're going to get to that much later. Today we were concentrating on the brakes. All right, the brake system, as mocked up as I could, because I didn't have the length I needed, is all right here. Got the brake caliper off an old Chinese, I think it's called a Haosung 650 GS or something like that. I made my own bracket for it. It fits nice and flush on the, I think, bent or welded on crooked brake rotor. Then I also have the foot pedal from the same bike, and I just got to figure out a mount. I put this on there temporarily, and that might actually help us get that to work, to secure it to this thing. But for now, we're gonna remove the banjo bolts and the flex lines from both ends, put these out where they're supposed to be, and then try to figure out what that hard line is going to be, as far as length and where it's going to stub out and where the flex line is going to connect to it. I don't want it on the, I don't want the solid line on the moving part of the chassis because it'll bend back and forth and eventually break. So the solid line has to be on the fixed part of the chassis, and then the flex line will go from here to that. So it could be somewhere up here, might be somewhere lower. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So we'll figure that out together, I guess. Well, let's get into it. I'm not good at brakes. I'm not good at brakes. I'm not good at brakes. But the only way I have to prove to you that I have brakes is to do this, because I don't have anybody else in the shop. So bear with me. And I'm going to pull that like a ripcord on the tire, and then you're not going to see me do it, but I'm going to actuate the brake pedal, and that'll come to a dead stop. Here we go. And it came to a dead stop. I mean, that was with my thumb pushing the pedal, so it's not my foot. I know it's not the machine's weight rolling on it, but I have brakes. There are no leaks that I can find. I have brakes, I have brakes, I have brakes, and because I have brakes, that concludes this video. So, hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for paying attention. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. Please check me out on Instagram and my Jabricated Facebook page.
Spray it, light it. There it goes.
What is the balance issue there? All right, just finished spraying it off after Busco. She's shiny again, or as shiny as she will probably ever be in my tenure of owning it.
Do 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 do.